Britain's youngest double the scariest 14-year-olds you have ever seen. One of the most confusing times in human life is in the teenage years. It is a very delicate time, and some kids have made some gut-wrenching decisions to the extreme during this stage. Kim Edwards and Lucas Markham are such kids. They are lovers who Kim's mother and sister in cold blood. And interestingly, they both are 14 years old, making them the youngest double in Britain. The reason Kim did this will shock you. These young also went viral as the Twilight because they bathed together and watched the Twilight movie almost immediately after. These scary kids are just insane. What could have gone wrong? Let's rewind a bit to 2008. When Kim's mother had hit her in a domestic row. Kim was just 6 years old then, so Kim and her sister had to be temporarily out of her care. That became over pretty soon. The case against the family was closed, and they returned to normal life. Kim started acting strange ever since then. The rift between Elizabeth and Kim widened. The main problem was that Kim always thought she was second best. She grew up believing her mother preferred Katie. One day, she wrote a note. This made her mom worried, and she had to take her to see a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist later disclosed that she has no sign of mental illness. The rowing started becoming very frequent. Kim alleged that her mother would say she'd turn out to be like her father, who had abandoned their family while she was still a baby. Just like his new girlfriend, Lucas had experienced a terrible childhood. He was placed in foster care at the age of 4 as a result of his parents' violent marriage. Then he relocated to his aunt's home. His mother passed away from leukemia a year later, and considering his father's frequent drinking, his connection with him was far from perfect. The feeling of insecurity became worse after she met Lucas. They were in the same class, and Lucas too was characterized as a kid with a difficult character. They became physically, emotionally, and romantically codependent. One thing they had in common was the feeling that it was them against the world. The fondness for Lucas didn't sit well with Elizabeth, as if she knew the future. She described them as a time bomb waiting to go off. It got to a point where the couple ran away from their respective homes to start living in a forest north of Lincolnshire, their hometown. In around March 2016, Kim took an overdose of painkillers in an attempt to kill herself. Later, when that didn't work out, she started planning how her family members should die, a plan she completed by April 2016. On the fateful night, rather horrific, Lucas walked to Kim's house. She let him in through the bathroom window. He then tiptoed into Elizabeth's room, calmly held a pillow upon her face, and stabbed her in the neck, purposefully targeting her voice box so she couldn't cry out. She wouldn't die off easily. She crawled towards him, fighting for her life, but he wouldn't budge and proceeded with the brutal. Per Kim's instruction, he moved on to Kim's sister, Katie, and killed her during her sleep. Kim later explained, she said, "I thought it would have been better for my sister to die too. I was not killing my sister out of anger, and I miss her, but I was excited about killing my mother, and I was looking forward to it." When they settled down, they grabbed ice cream and started to watch Twilight, hence the highlight Twilight of Lincolnshire. They remained in the building for more than 24 hours while the body of those still lay bleeding in the bed upstairs. It was later, after 2 days, they were reported missing from school when the police had to force their way in, that this was revealed. Both are amusingly shocking and messed up at the same time.
I went into the room to see what was going on because I heard like noises and stuff. he was on top like with a pillow over her head.
We felt laid back about what had happened, Kim later said. Neither of us felt that bad about it. Professional and experienced detectives were equally perturbed by this horrific incident, especially regarding the demeanor. Detective Chief Inspector Martin Holvey said the fact of what happened in those 36 hours after and how they carried on as normal, watching TV, watching a film, going upstairs to use the toilet while people are lying upstairs dead, it beggars belief. Both of them, Kim Edwards and Lucas Markham, are now sentenced to serve 17.5 years behind bars, having made a considerable reputation in crime history as Britain's youngest ever double murderers. Could it have just been because of ordinary familial hatred? What could have spurred the kids to go to such extreme lengths? A criminologist, David Wilson, bluntly stated that they were displaying a high level of psychopathy. He singled out the fact that Kim believes she is favoring her mother and sister by killing them. In Kim's words, "My mom doesn't have to deal with me anymore, being like and she doesn't have to wake up worrying every morning to see if I'm still alive, while Katie saved her from going through the heartbreak and just all the emotions and stuff." Kim's psychologist later testified in court. He said, in that triangle, she felt very much left out. She felt that her mother was very much more attached to her younger sister. That said, as Dr. Kenny pointed out, it is like there's something still missing in Kim. That girl is getting across like one hell of a psychopath. I'm not convinced that in 17 years she will have learned enough from this, but let's hope for the best and hope they turn out to be better people. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this content, then please give this video a like and hit the subscribe button.
This video in no way intends to offend anyone mentioned in it. It is solely for educational reasons and contains information that was found online. Accuracy, completeness, and timeliness are not promised or guaranteed. This is not a full and complete representation of the case, the people, or the investigation, and therefore should not be taken as such.